Hi, and thank you for choosing our session today. My name is Lindsay Smith. I use she and her pronouns, and I lead the Task Force for Online Experiences and Engagement at ACPA. ACPA stands for the American College Personnel Association. Currently, we have 7,500 members representing 1,200 public and private institutions from across the US and the world. Our members cover all functional areas and professional levels of experience and education within higher education, and also includes organizations and companies that are engaged in the campus marketplace. The purpose of this presentation is to give you a brief overview of why we formed this task force, who we are, and what we aim to accomplish as we wrap up our first year as a task force at ACPA. To start, I'll provide a bit of context and background about me. I'm a program mentor and faculty in the School of Business at Western Governors University. It's a nonprofit, fully online, competency-based university. I live and work in Cincinnati, Ohio. However, my students live and work and learn across the country in rural towns, quiet suburbs, and big cities. They range in age and experiences and identities as diverse as you can imagine. And they all have the common goal of working towards attaining their bachelor's degree and having chosen to do so without ever meeting each other or their professors or me in person. I have worked in the realm of online higher education for approaching 9 years now, mentoring and advising students, collaborating with colleagues, and serving on committees and executive boards within higher education, all from the convenience of my living room. When the coronavirus pandemic took hold across the world last year, it became the norm for student affairs professionals to work from home and communicate with students virtually. And I took the opportunity to propose the creation of a national task force within ACPA. The purpose of this task force would be to look at the experiences and engagement of online students and professionals beyond how and what they learned. What I was interested in was how do students gain the experiences differently with regards to their development when they are online. For example, when students are in college in a completely online environment, how do their identity development differ, or does it, from those who go to college on campus, who meet new people and learn from others who are both the same and different from them? So currently our task force is 16 members strong and spans nearly every type of higher education institution and outside of the United States. We have folks from community colleges, small liberal arts colleges, large research institutions, higher education service partners, and international institutions as far-reaching as Qatar University and the University of the West Indies. Prior to the coronavirus, working virtually was an outlier experience. I would go to conferences and attempt to seek out folks who presented on topics related to virtual learning, distance learning, or even commuter students. But with so many other important topics and conversations going on in higher education, learning about the experiences of online students was often not the lead discussion. In October 2020, our task force was recognized as an official task force at ACPA. And our next step for us is to gain commission status so that conversations about online learners will be part of the discussion, just like commuter students or first generation students is now. The COVID-19 pandemic created so many challenges to personal health and safety, self-care, and equitable access to internet, just to name a few things. And it also opened the doors to a new era of education that is still being created right in front of us. It was important to me to form this task force because higher education is in the midst of a change in how business is done in education. This new era has a potential to remove the boundaries of location and give educators permission to think outside the box, to redefine what learning could look like in the future, and I'm really excited to be a part of this change. As we look ahead to our goals for our task force, it can feel a bit overwhelming, like there are so many things to be done. I just included a few things here that were top of mind as I created this presentation. First being to just start the conversations. As the informed voice at ACPA on online students and experiences and engagement, we want to start more discussions in the coming year about working with online students, creating best practices, and working with colleagues in an online environment as well. Putting theory to practice is a common thought in higher education, and I often reflect on whether student development theory looks different through the lens of an online experience. And then lastly, collaboration. Collaboration is important to everything we do. The work we do in online experiences, it doesn't operate in a vacuum. So online experiences intersects with every aspect of higher education, and it's our goal to connect and collaborate with other groups, organizations, and commissions in ACPA and beyond. So if you're listening to this and you see a connection or are interested in connecting with us, I've provided our contact information, my contact information personally, and how to connect with us here at the end of these slides. We have three overarching themes. When I look at the purpose of our task force and when we submitted our initial proposal to become a task force, we really had three overarching themes. Obviously that may change as we develop and grow, and as higher education develops and grows into this new era. But for now, our first aim is to be the informed voice on understanding the development of learners and their changing experiences in an online world. That one I really don't see changing. Second, we are focused on serving as an informed committee dedicated to the advancement of research, best practices, skill development, information, and professional competencies. And third, we will work to create dialogue, connect colleagues, and advance discussions on topics that intersect student affairs. So really, a lot of what we do right now is trying to start the conversation, connect folks, create best practices, and just share information through social media, through any platform that we can, because although we are saying we are the informed voice, there are lots of people that are informed voices, and it's just a matter of connecting those folks with each other and sharing information and sharing knowledge with each other. So as we look ahead and begin to create strategic goals for our task force for the next year, one piece that is impossible to overlook is our membership and those interested in becoming a part of our commission. We would like to increase our international membership so that more voices are included in the conversation. As I mentioned earlier, this new era of education has the potential to remove the boundaries of location in education. And the more unique and diverse voices you have in a room, the more you will learn from each other. These last two are goals that were actually part of our initial proposal to become a task force. And with so many of our ideas, they each are worthy of some really great research and are actually just standalone topics on their own. First, we'd like to explore the role and scope of online learning across the world versus the experiences of students in the US. And then second, evaluate the impact that access to distance learning has on the globalization of education. And that's all I have. If you're interested in learning more about our task force or would like to follow us on social media, we are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ACPA OEE. If you would like to collaborate with us, or if you're a member of ACPA and would like to join our task force, you can email us at onlinetaskforce@acpa.nche.edu, or you are more than welcome to email me directly at lindsay.smith@wgu.edu. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time to learn more about our task force for online experiences and engagement at ACPA, and for listening to our presentation, and enjoy the rest of your conference. Thanks.